Good afternoon, watchers. Scott at SE Landscaping, and we're just on our way to one of our local dealers who we do a bit of purchasing with. And you may remember last week's video where I mentioned I was at Saltex and there was a shopping list. Now, usually with a lot of plant and equipment, the last few years, it's been ordering something and not seeing it for a vast amount of time. But it's a question I always ask because I don't like waiting for things. And the three things I asked for at Saltex were already readily available. So I spoke to PSD Ground Care, which are the elite importers for chipper shredders as well as various other things. They do lots of other products. They do grin mowers, which are getting some excellent ratings at the moment. They're really good mulching mower, which I'm going to demo next year. They are expensive, but like I say, if they're expensive and do the job, you're not so bothered. So I spoke to them on the stand. I spoke to a couple of people about Eliet, who've used Eliet or who own Eliet, and they're very impressed with the stuff. One big selling point as well was they have the products available. So he says we can bring your stuff out, and half the time if we bring your stuff out through a demo through the local dealer, we can pretty much sell you it. So that was the conversation we had. I initially looked at a Vector shredder, but when I looked into it, it came with a few problems, and it wasn't as good as the Prof 6, which is the one that I opted for in the end. So I spoke to PSD, spoke to my local dealer Lloyd's, and arranged a demonstration. And the demonstration was in really bad weather, so there was a lot. I bagged a load of stuff up basically. So I bagged some laurel up, bagged some elder up, various different bags of stuff. And then what I did was I got them out, and like I said, the stuff was soaking wet. Because a lot of people have said, well, shredders are good, but they don't do stuff in the wet. This shredder slows things down, so if it's taking too much through, the motor automatically slows it down. But as well as that, because it's wet, it's still processing it, which a lot of the other ones don't do. So they came out, and I was happy with the machine. And the first thing I said was, I want this machine. Obviously, the demo, it came with no hours, so I was impressed. So it was shipped to my local dealer. Well, it was the guy who brought it up from Lancashire took it to my local dealer just to give it the once over, and then obviously I bought it through my local dealer. So we're on our way to pick that machine up now, and we'll get it in the van, and then we'll get it to site to do a demo, just to give you a rough idea of what it's like. Cost wise of the machine, you're talking 11 grand. So it's a big bit of kit, but like I think I've explained the problems with getting rid of green waste and the green waste costs going up. Yes, this will not pay for itself overnight. It'll take a few years to pay for itself, but it will pay for itself in a few years. So that's the planning behind the big purchase, really. So it's a good investment for me. It wouldn't be right for everybody. Not everybody could justify forking that out for a shredder, especially, like I say, I've already got a chipper for chipping stuff, so it means that I'm all catered for chipping and shredding now. But that comes at a cost of just short of like 25-26 grand. So it's coming at a big cost. You've got a lot of gear that's there, but it's there when you need it. So that's the good thing. So we shall go and get it picked up. So here we are at the dealer. The other thing I bought off these was the Bomag roller. as well as the oh, what was the other thing, the excavator, the Bobcat excavator. But you can see they do a wide variety of products. They do Honda, they do Husqvarna, they do Mountfield, they do Cress, they do Stiga, and then they go up to right up to big tractors. So they do pretty much everything. So let's spin you around, and that is the Eliet over there, ready to go. So we'll get the van tidied and we'll go and pick it up. So this is my new super Eliet Prof 6, which I'm over the moon with. It's powered by a Briggs & Stratton engine, 14 horsepower down there, and it'll take in green waste up to 4 inches. So just pull this back here. I'll show you the blades at the other side, but it's a massive chute for green waste, which the smaller machines don't have. You're trying to force it in. This is self-feed, so it self-feeds it. So basically you just put it there and it'll drag it in, and it'll process it at 48,000 cuts per minute. We unscrew this. This is the business end, so it goes through the chute, comes out here via 24 of these blades, which are changeable, and to change it costs about £350, but because they cut in different directions you get one change. So basically that blade will be swapped with that and it'll cut on the back end. As well as that, the tiny little teeth here can be reground if you're very careful, so you can get a bit more life out of them as well. So like I say, when they do need changing, you've had 2 or 3 runs with it. This chute can be opened up because this, although this is an anti-clog machine, so the motor slows. If it does start to clog up with wet stuff and everything, it does take wet and dry, but if it does happen to slow a bit, the motor slows it and it'll process it a bit slower, so it'll come through. Sometimes there'll be a bit of stuff in here, so end of every day, just a bit of maintenance, just open this up and blow it out like you would with any other machine. But that's the business end. Most people with the small shredders will have the same kind of chute, but this will all be blocked off and it'll only have that small outgoing. This has got a V shape in, so basically it's optimizing how much you can shoot out of it, and the angle of it, it's still going to go in the same place, and that's dictated by this. So if you want to shoot it in the sky, or if you want to shoot it down to the floor. Tracked machine, operated by these handles here, and it's just forward and back, a bit like an excavator. And then you've got this for your blades.
So if you need to, if something gets stuck, if you put a V-shaped branch in or something and it did manage to stick it, you just reverse it, and it will chuck it back out. So let's go and get some processing done. Oh, and the emergency stop, we've got one here and we've got one there, so there's actually two emergency stops on the machine, that one there and that one. So as it's the start of winter pruning season, we've got some elder for it to process, which about 2 inches, 2.5 inches on that one. We've got some bulky fuchsia, got a bit of geranium, we've got some buddleias, so quite a bit of different types of stuff for it to process. It's wet because it has been wet, so let's get cracking. key to start, and it's just pulling that back to stop it, and look what it's produced, really fine. From 12 bags down to that. If you wanted to bag that up, it wouldn't even be half a bag. So it shows you how compressed it goes, and that'll provide a good compost to put on these beds as a mulch. And there we have 4 meters square of mulch for free. And she's back in the van.
So, first outing for the Super Prof. I've gave a brief insight into the machine. Like I say, it will take a while to get used to it, but there's very little to go with it. I think I mentioned I was looking at another couple of these similar types of machines, but they don't do green waste as well as the thicker stuff, the sort up to 4-inch. They don't do both, so this processes the green waste, and it's a unique type of machine. I think I've explained with the blades how it slows down, rather than if I put all that stuff through my Timberwolf chipper, it would just clog up forevermore, and that's why I wanted some kind of a shredder. Cost wise, like I said, just over £11,000 ex-VAT, so 13.8 I think in total. But if you look at it, there was roughly in total chipped about 10 or 12 bags in total I had on two separate sites there, the one you saw and another one. That would have been sort of half a load on my Transit. Now Transit, I think I explained, £60 a load, but you don't just class it as the load. You've got to go at the tip and back, which is an hour each way. So if you take into account that you're even charging yourself out at £30 an hour, it's £60 to get there and back to the tip. It's £60 for the tip. You've used a bit of fuel. So all in all, when someone says I've been to the tip and it's cost £60, it hasn't. It's actually cost you about £140, £130, £140, depending where you are. And if you're passing, fair enough, but very few people live near a tip. So if you take into account an average tip run will cost sort of 120 to 140 pound. Yes, it's going to take a while to get that money back, but on the other side of it, it's the extra things. So on a job like that, you've also got to walk into the van and everything like that, and if you're doing long jobs on grass, you're not taking it to the van. So there's so many ways you're saving money each time. And yes, it's going to take a while to get that money back, but as I've explained to people before, this tool is going to make my job so much easier, and that was the main reason why I invested in it. It's not so much about wasting money and having things stood there, it's having things stood there that I might only use 30 times a year, but boy, that 30 times a year will save my back, and it will save me having to load stuff on the vans and run around. So that's the thing. As well as that, you saw it slots into the back of my Citroen relay. You just have to drop the chute because the chute sticks up a little bit too much, so you just pull the chute down, but apart from that, it fits in the back of my relay. So it means less time running my Transit van around, which costs more to run than the Citroen. So, and I can get my tripod ladders in the back. It's just for obviously big jobs. If I'm doing any really big hedges, which I don't tend to do anything like that now, then yes, I would still need the Transit. But it's cutting down on stuff like that I need to pull about with. I can just do the majority of the winter work now with this vehicle here, which is nice, because with the Transit it's open back, so all your tools are on the back. With this, all the tools fit in the back, and they're a lot safer. Yes, it's like anything if someone wants to break in, but most of my sites I'm working near the site with the equipment, but it's more to do with a Transit. Youngsters or thieves can sneak up while you're cutting the other side of a transit, just slip the hands over and bang, they've stolen something. So at least with in the back of the van, everything's in there. So happy with it overall. There will be more footage because that was just a short video. You're not going to see everything with just one video, but I just thought I'd get it out there. It's like I say, this was the third of potentially 6 things purchased from Saltex, and like I said, 2 have already arrived, 1's on the way. So yeah, it's been a good journey to Saltex. It's been worthwhile for the business and worthwhile for me to make my life easier. Yes, it's you might think it's a lot of money to spend, and are these necessities? So if you take into account if I was still running the business on a shoestring and it was I was managing every penny, are these necessities? No, they're probably all not necessities, but like I say, anything to make my life easier. If it was years gone by, then potentially I wouldn't have bought a lot of these items, because I wouldn't have needed them, or would have plodded on without them. So, but that's what it's all about. It's all about making your life easier. So yeah, there we are. So thanks for watching, and we will see you on future videos. And don't forget to subscribe, please, if you're not already doing so, because there's some cracking content on this channel. There's some cracking content that I'm sure that you'll all agree helps you out. So thanks for watching, and we will see you on the next one.